So this is all the shit I shoved in the corner. Oh, this is all my scarves. They're supposed to be on that thing. That brown thing. I don't even know if you can see it. I'm just gonna do a bunch of videos back to back to back, rollerblading, because I already have the bed set up, and I'm not gonna change clothes every time I want to turn. Ouch! Every time I want to do a video, what the fuck? Ow! The pain. It's in my chest, like behind my rib cage. Like, ouch. Oh, that's where my heart's at. I already have the space. I picked up my bed, so that was heavy, sort of. It wasn't really heavy, it was more, I had to figure out how to do it properly, because it's a mattress on top of box springs, 2 box springs. So I just picked up the mattress, and it was still sitting on the box springs, so I had to pull the box springs out without knocking the mattress down, and then do it again. So anyway, it wasn't that difficult. It's pretty easy. I'm not gonna keep changing my outfits simply because I want to make it look like I'm doing this on different days, which I'm not. I literally just recorded the video of where I was skating to the song Worth It by Superfruit, and then I watched it and I realized I looked pretty cool, and I did some cool turnarounds and cool things, but you really couldn't see the feet work, and those were the cool parts, but they were like all blocked and stuff, so you couldn't see it, so it wasn't very cool. But I was just having fun. Oh my god, 2 minutes and almost 30 seconds. I get worse every single time. Okay. Nobody's gonna want to watch my videos because they're so freaking boring, because I don't know what to fucking do. And I never plan anything before I actually do it. If you haven't already figured out, I'm a weird child. Weird kid. I mean, I'm 18, so technically I'm not a kid anymore. So, It's February. Almost close to spring break. But I wouldn't know because I'm not in school anymore. It's my brother's school, so that's the only reason why I'm referring to spring break. Also about to go to Michigan during spring break, so, But there's my doors over there. The one that goes up to the house. This is the outside door. Goes to the driveway. This is my parents' house. My mom's house, not my dad's house. Although it is written on the contract. I got 3 minutes, 30 seconds. You know what?
If people are fans, then they will watch it. But you know what? I really have to watch my time. Maybe I'll just make this video and put it up there. And then make another video explaining shit. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay, I'm a weird kid. And I'm probably gonna look back on this and go, what the were you thinking? Just like, you thought this was cool enough to put on the internet? You really thought this was cool enough to put on the internet? No, probably not. All my stuff is probably not even cool enough to put on the internet. I'm just doing this because it's fun, and then later, when I get older and I look back, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. You know, put it all on YouTube in like chronological order, even if it's stupid shit, like just me talking to myself for like the past 5 freaking minutes, 4:33, and maybe if something happens to me and I die young, people will be able to still see my videos. My parents, my brother, my cousins. People won't just be left with nothing. They'll have because I actually don't expect anybody to watch these videos for like years after I put it up. I have to first become somebody. I have to have my name known first. You know, actually go out there, do things, and actually have some talent to give to the world. I mean, I can sing, and I have videos up of me singing, but I haven't had a vocal coach yet. So I still sound quite iffy. You know, these videos are stupid. You know, I haven't, like, there's no point to it. But, like, it's like you get to know how I process or think about things, like, you know, my normal, who I am as a person and the things I think about. And that's kind of what I want to make me different and special. I mean, everybody's special in their own. I'm not saying that I have to be special, so I'm going to try to do something that's not me. I'm going to show the real me, and that's what's going to make me different from the other popular people. I mean, there are not popular people, I mean singers. And if I go into acting, I'm not even thinking about that, because, like, look, my emotional state is already, like, iffy. Like, I'm a military child. I lived for the past 6 to 7 years of my life in Germany on Ramstein Air Force Base. And it wasn't exactly a stable childhood. It was anything but stable. I mean, people moving. I mean, I stayed there for 6 to 7 years, but my friends didn't. I would get lucky if even, like, some acquaintance, like, friends stayed for a few years, but I wouldn't get to know them. It's the ones, in my experience, it's always the ones that I get closest to the quickest that move the quickest. Ha! It's almost like they wanted to move, but no. It's very sad. It's very sad. I just realized it's very sad. But anyway, because, like, I realized that... Oh, yeah. Wait! Pause. Okay, I have it in text message. Okay. I'm not going to read it word for word, because that's too intimate, and... whatever. Okay. I painted that wall. And no, that mermaid is not finished. Maybe I want to do blonde hair. Like, dirty blonde. My natural color. I also painted that painting up there. I painted it a lot. Anyway. I had an unstable childhood, therefore I'm an unstable adult. I was at the whim of the government. My life was at the whim of the government. If they decided you're gonna move, you're gonna move. You can't do shit about it. And it wasn't just my family that the government would decide to move my friend's family or this or that, and it would affect me. See, it's okay, so you imagine you move. So imagine you up and move. Some of you probably already know that. If you're a military child, you really understand. If you're a military child, you really understand what it is, what it goes through. Now, I was lucky I didn't have to move that much. Up until the age of 12, I probably only moved once. And it was still in the same state, but I still didn't, get to keep any contacts from the other school. Moved when I was 6, and then I moved when I was 12. And the one I really remember was at 12. So up to the age of 12, I pretty much had a pretty normal childhood, except for the fact that I got to go onto a military base, and my mom worked and my dad worked there. I got to go on to the flight line sometimes when my dad would go out there, and he'd get clearance for me to go out there as well. And I'm just like, oh, it's a big flat area of concrete. Whoop-de-doo. It's just like watching it from a documentary, except you're actually there. But like, it really does affect you when, even if it's not your family that it's being done to, like, because all your friends are leaving. I just noticed my posture wasn't good. Anyway, decided to move my family. I couldn't do shit about it. So I had no control over my own life. I had no roots. I had no sense of, I didn't finish the story. So imagine you move and you move away from everything that you know, everything that makes you feel comfortable, your sense of security, your sense of self is in the land and place that you live in. Well, not for me. I move, the people change, and imagine that you're staying in the same place for a long amount of time, but everybody you know moves. Everybody like every year you have like a new group of people and a new group, and it's just you're getting to know new people because no one really knows you. Your sense of self, even if you really don't know, like when you're a child growing up, you're trying to get your sense of self, and usually that's based off of what people see you as, or just the world around you. Well, if the world around you is unstable and it's changing, how are you supposed to understand yourself when you don't understand your world? How are you supposed to grow up and make sense of yourself and the world if the world doesn't make sense? If the world is constantly, I mean, the world is constantly changing, but usually you have your child friends, your friends. That sounds wrong. Your friends as you are as a kid, you have your friends. As a kid, you have your friends, and they usually stay that way. And although the adults, you're as it's kind of like, and the adults seem to be like in a world of their own, while the kids, their world doesn't change, it stays the same. While the adults world, it changes, and you're a kid, so you don't understand all of that shit. Well, as a military child, you tend to understand the adult world more at a young age, and you tend to have to learn these lessons at a younger age. So you have to learn these lessons that things change, and you just have to deal with it before you learn who you are. You don't have roots, a sense of self. You don't know. Learn from a young age to not set goals for the future because the government is just going to smash them whenever they fucking feel like it. Like, don't set down any roots because you're gonna move. My parents painted the house a beige color, and I'm like, why'd you paint it that? It's because we're gonna move soon. Because I don't want to have to repaint the house when we need to sell it. Tell that to a freaking 6-year-old child. Have no sense of home. Sense of telling that to a 6-year-old child. Oh, I painted it this way because I don't know when we're going to move and I don't want to have to repaint it when we sell it. So I never got comfortable there. That actually I did there because I was a 6-year-old child and I didn't freaking understand that shit. But like, I did get comfortable there, and that was my home. Although the people there were closed-minded and not very intelligent, because it wasn't a very good school system, and the kids there didn't care about intelligence. They didn't want to learn. And because it was such a small community, small-minded people don't get to really meet. I mean, I just got in contact with them a few months ago, and they're basically the same people I met. They're basically the same people I knew back in middle school and elementary school. They haven't changed. One of them has 2 kids. but her mental state, the way she acts, how she is exactly the same as 6th grade. They haven't changed at all. I, on the other hand, changed every few months. Who I was and the way I thought changed every few months. Every 6 months, every year. Because I had to meet new people that didn't quite understand you. But everybody kind of got along because it was everybody understood just how difficult it is to move and to be different. So everyone there, even though they were mean, even if they might be mean, are just like us on this. Anyway, I didn't really run into anybody who was mean. Anyway, I learned to live in the moment and to enjoy what I have in the moment, because any day now the military could just say you're leaving, but But now we're out of the military, so that's not going to happen. However, my parents are divorcing, so I might move. So why the hell should I try to make a life here if I don't even know if I'm going to stay here? That's basically been my entire life. Why should I set down some roots if I don't know if I'm going to stay? It's basically what you grow up with as a military child. No roots, no place feels like home, because you are from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. Yeah. When people ask me where I'm from, I don't know what to say. Hey, where were you from? Well, I was born in England, only lived there for like a year. Then I lived in Louisiana and then I moved at the age of 6 to another spot in Louisiana. Then at the age of 12, 2013, on New Year's Day of 2013. No, freaking, that's a great way to start off the year. It was New Year's Eve when we got on the plane and New Year's Day when we got off the plane. So that's a great way to start a new year, right? 2013. Anyway. And from the age of 12 to Germany. And I only moved from the age of 12 to Germany. At the age of 12, I only moved once to there. And stayed there for 6 to 7 years. 2018, we moved back. No, it was 2019. Oh, fuck. 2019, we moved back. I graduated 2019, June of 2019. And I graduated there. So 2019, we moved back. We moved to Texas. But in the span of those 6 years, it was like, took forever, because I'd get to know this group of people, and every year I'd have a new group of friends. A few of the old friends trickled in every now and then, but every year I'd have a new group of friends, and even half a year, because they'd move every 6 freaking months, or I'd just meet them and they're about to move. It's like, how fucking great is that? But like, where am I from? Who am I? People are like, oh, I know who I am. I'm a Texan. I'm a cowboy. I'm a redneck, because they lived out in the boondocks. Who am I? Where am I from? Like, who are you? You usually are where you've grown up, and where you are from is usually what makes you. Oh, what makes me? I am a military child. That is who I am. I am a military child, and I am not going into the military because I hate it. Gives you great life benefits. I mean, I got my braces for free. All my medical, free. Every health-related thing, free. Some of it. Other things I had to pay for, but most of it was freaking free. Heck, my college is going to be free when I go. I have to go. I'm going to go. Usually, it depends on how many benefits your parents get. Well, both of my parents stayed in for 20 years, and my mom got 100% disabled, although she can work and walk around and stuff. It's because a bunch of tiny things that add up to 100% disabled. So she gets the 100% disabled benefits, and so having them both, I get both of those benefits. My dad's benefits, which are given to anyone who, like, I think anyone who. Anyway, so because I get both my parents' benefits, not only is my college tuition paid for, but the college itself is paid for. The college classes are paid for. and living expenses are paid for. So they give me $3,000 a month for living expenses to go to college. So if you're into those things, then go into the military for about 20 freaking years. You can make a great life for your children. Just don't be in the... My dad worked on airplanes and stuff, and my mom worked in with the humans, living quarters, food, other things. So she'd get deployed a lot. Although she didn't get deployed after about a year after I was born, she stopped getting deployed. Then my dad would get deployed, although I didn't really notice when he was gone. I didn't have a wrestling partner. That's all I noticed. And when he was gone for 6 months, I just started punching boys. I'm like, boys are strong. I can punch them. Nope, they cry just about as much as girls do. I'm like, you're a boy. You're supposed to be stronger than me. And I punch you and you're crying, like wailing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because you're like, oh, boys are stronger than girls. Punch. So I realize I'm a lot stronger than people my age. And now I still want to wrestle, but no one my age wants to wrestle. Oh, this life is hard on a normal person. By normal, I mean someone that does not have mental problems. And if you're a military child, you usually end up with depression and anxiety. If a military child gives you mental problems and emotional problems, so you get depression, you get anxiety, and you get emotional scars and mental scars just by being a military child. I was born with these: ADHD, OCD, autism. Now, it's not OCD as in cleanliness, because there's cat litter on my floor, mainly because the cats can't freaking keep it in the box. By the way, I'm allergic to cats, but I'm fine with these cats. I love cats. When I was like 1 year old, I watched like 1 year old to like 3 to 4 to 5 years old. I binge watched back to back to back the movie Aristocats. I know all the songs. I only got myself in this big old world. I drink that cup of life with my fingers curled. Anyway, I love cats. I'm allergic to cats. I love trees. I'm allergic to the outdoors. What they do? I completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, you know what I've noticed that I developed? So, as I was talking about like mental disorders and disabilities. Well, what I've noticed that I've developed from being a military child. I used to think that having the people move didn't affect me, and it was usually because I wouldn't let them connect to me. So I'd keep them at a distance, even though I'd be close to them enough where I'd lay my head in their lap, or to them, I was an open book. However, I didn't let them get too close because it was all faked. Everything was faked. And everything that was real, or not everything was faked, okay? It was real, sort of, but I only chose what I let them see. I didn't let them see everything. And whatever, and I thought I was an open book as well, because I hid my emotions so well that I hid them from myself. So I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't realize that I wasn't really making friends, because I'm like, because when I woke up in the morning, I'd forget about the day before, emotionally. So just be like, it's a new day, whatever. And I'd get to school 30 minutes early. I'd get to school at 7:30. School started at 8:15. 8:10, because the bell rang at 8:05. The warning bell rang at 8:05. Anyway, So I'd get there at 7:30 when the doors were unlocked because I didn't have anything else to do. And I mean, I lived on base then, so I could just walk to school. About 15-minute walk for me because I'm a slow walker. Well, kind of a slow walker. I mean, when you are in Europe, Europeans walk fast, so you just start walking faster. However, generally, when it comes to like, usually in the morning, I'm not going anywhere in a hurry. I'm enjoying the nature. It's beautiful because even though it's on base, there's trees everywhere and there's grass and there's playgrounds and it's like big blocks with green in the middle. The houses are on the outside and the greenery is in the middle. Anyway, so I'd get there 30 minutes, 40 minutes early, and I'm not a morning person, but when people are entering, I'm like, hey! And I'd put extra enthusiasm into it and extra effort so that things would be happy, because if I make my friends happy, then I'll be happy. Because if they're happy, they'll make me happy, right? No, that's not how it worked, but that's how I went on for like years. What I realized I developed was commitment issues because I blocked myself off from connecting to any humans when I was from connecting to any humans. I was essentially alone. And I don't think it bothered me that much because when I was younger, I was a loner. I was 5 years old and I wouldn't sit on my parents' laps. I wouldn't connect with my parents. I was just a loner. And I didn't have when you're a few weeks old as a baby, you connect with your mother through listening to her heartbeat. Well, I was born August 17th, 2001. And right after August is September. And you remember what happened September 11th, 2001. So my mom had to go off and feed the people who were fighting the war. But apparently, there's a rule against. I was only 9 weeks old. I was too young for her to go away. So I didn't get to connect with my mother as a baby. I didn't get to understand connection with other human beings because I was alone as a baby. I didn't have someone to connect with. And my dad wasn't very great at connecting either. I mean, don't get me wrong, but he was like 20. I'm 18. That's 2 years away. He was still a freaking child. Now that I've listened to his stories of when he was younger, living on the prison farm, because his father is a prison guard and works with the demented. Apparently you can get away with a lot of things on a prison farm because the other law enforcement is not supposed to go there because they have no jurisdiction over the area. So anyone who lives on the prison farm can get away with a lot of things. So I listened to the stories that he had as a kid, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I was never this bad. I was never as bad as my father. And I'm like, what possessed you to do such a stupid thing? I mean, that's retarded. I mean, there's more risk than reward. Plus, that's just heartless. I mean, we're gonna shoot whatever comes out, like, because there was a bunch of animals on the farm. It's a farm. They're like, we're gonna shoot whatever comes around that hinge. I'm like, well, what if it's a human? Also, why hurt the animals? You're not gonna eat it. So don't just go around shooting random animals if you're not gonna freaking eat it or keep its pelt or whatever. But like, he was rude and mean. He was rude and stupid. He was a typical teenage boy. I'm not a typical teenage girl. Heck, my mom did more stupid things than I did. And you know what they both had in common? Their parents were strict. My parents are not strict. Well, my dad is, but my mom's not. My mom holds the pants at the house, so when it comes to raising kids, at least she's the one in charge. She's in charge of everything under the house. The garage, however, that's dad's. Not anymore. It's now all mom's. But like, people say I share too much, but I don't feel like that. I mean, it's not too much. I mean, it's not something I need to keep secret. It's not like a big deal. It's just my life. 30 minutes? No, motherfucker is gonna watch this. Plus, I wasn't rollerblading or doing anything interesting, so I wouldn't even watch me. Ugh. Nope, I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm still learning what is and what isn't appropriate. Well, somewhat. I know now what I didn't know then. That's because I have autism, and I'm not using it as a crutch. So if you think I'm using it as a crutch, I'm not. I'm simply stating that because of the way my brain works and the fact that I wasn't close to humans, I didn't quite get what is expected of me. Which also means I have a different view on the world. So like, I'm not like in this kind of mindset where I need validation from others. Although I don't think, like, I am myself and I'm proud of who I am, but I like to get pats on the back. I like to get, oh, you did a good job. And I mean good things that I actually deserve. Not like, oh, I'm 1 year old stacking blocks right on top of each other, the Lego blocks. Good job! No! I got pissed when my mom would congratulate me. I'm like, don't you dare! Or I'd flush the toilet. Good job! No! That is a stupid thing to congratulate a kid for, unless you're in this family, which my brother still can't flush the freaking toilet. And even if he does, it backs up. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone has had a toilet back up, but the toilets in Europe are awesome. I mean, those things are powerful as fuck, and they have less water. I mean, those things suck down almost anything. I have not tested that theory, though. I'm just saying that once I got back here, the toilets have more water. I remembered why I sat so far forward on the toilet. I'm like, in Europe, I find myself sitting farther back on the toilet. That's because there's not as much water in the bottom of the thing, so I can actually afford to sit farther back. When I was younger, 12, 10 years old, I'd sit so far up on the toilet because when I take it number 2, the water would splash up, and I'm like, this is annoying! I don't like the water splashing up on my... That's the texture problem. I don't know. Maybe it's just everybody is disgusted by this, but I was more disgusted by this, and I just couldn't handle it at all. I didn't like it, didn't want it, made me not want to go poop, and I figured out that if I don't eat as much, then I don't go poop as much. I did not get anorexia. However, I was like 6 years old and only weighed like 35 pounds. Then I was 6 years old, like a week later, weighing 65 pounds. They just gave me medicine and everything was fixed. You know, I've had lots of medicine in my life. Then I was 12 years old, still weighing 65 pounds. 13 years old, 80 pounds. Then 90 pounds. Then for like, till just recently, actually, like a year ago, I think I weighed 90 pounds up till age 16. 95 pounds up till age 16. Then now I'm like 120. That's because I eat. I don't eat a lot, but I don't move. I don't go anywhere For the past 6 months, I have literally lived in this room. 2 of those months I was in Michigan. And I'd get out and I'd do stuff, but I didn't actually do stuff. See, in Europe, I could climb trees. I could go places. I could run and be outdoors. Literally, I didn't have to wear shoes anywhere. I mean, up there is freaking moss and grass and pine cones, and the worst thing you got are these tiny little thorns, and a burr nettle. That was probably the worst you had to worry about. Maybe some slugs. I stepped on one in the middle of the night. Hey, I lived on an Air Force base. It was protected by freaking 8 feet tall fences with barbed wires and sensors and freaking cameras. And I think nope, they weren't. And I'm not going to say what they weren't because that would be giving away too much information. But oh, okay. Point is, it's safe inside there. Anyone who is in there is meant to be there. Now, there can't be bad military people who are discharged for unhonorable discharge, meaning they were not really good people in the military, which is easy to sign up for the military, so I wouldn't be surprised. But, like, it's safer than other places to sneak out at night. So I did. And I liked it because there was no one around. I could be alone without being trapped in 4 walls. I didn't have any eyes on me whatsoever, and I could just be alone out there. Actually, I haven't explained. In the woods on base, I'd try to get lost. Why do I never finish my fucking story? I got out more there because I could go places barefooted and I didn't have to worry about anything, and the trees there were great to climb. I mean, it was like the trees grew to be able to be climbed, some of them. They didn't have rough bark, it was soft bark. So you didn't get scratched, and there wasn't any bugs that were going to in your skin other than ticks. It was only ticks that you had to worry about. That was it. Ticks. That's all you had to worry about were ticks, bull nettle, tiny thorns, and pine cones. Not pine cones, but yeah, pine cones. No acorns. And rocks. And sticks. See, I went barefooted everywhere, so I could get out and I could do things, you know? And there was concrete places. It was great, soft concrete, so I could use these. It was awesome. They kept everything in check, maintained. It was great. Here, it's Texas. Freaking 80 degrees at night. At night. Night. In Germany, some parts of the year, I could just, if I didn't want to go downstairs to put my drink back in the refrigerator, but it had to be refrigerated, just stick it outside on your ledge, on your window ledge. By the way, the window ledge is there, half a foot wide, so I could literally